anytime you stop producing and focus only on consuming, you have nothing to be proud of other than what you consume. If we were producing again, and historically this nation, not just African Americans, have been producers, and we were proud of our work. In the absence of any, we are not producing, we are consuming. And so the only thing we have left to be proud of is not what we made, not what we built, but what we bought. And we have to teach our children to produce again. And to your point about faith being a part of it, the very first thing that God says to Adam is be fruitful. Not be consumeful, be fruitful.
Right.
Okay? He said, I got the consuming covered. You can eat all of these trees. Be fruitful. Imitate the tree.
Right.
Be fruitful.
Right.
And I think that we, as a father, I had an obligation not to give my children everything they want and to demand that you be fruitful. You will work. You must do something. You can't sit around and wait on me to die to get an inheritance. You have to get a job. And those simple values that we used to have, we need them again. All Americans need them, but in particularly African Americans and minorities need them, because if you don't produce and you wait on somebody to hire you and give you a vision, you may not get there. Entrepreneurial pursuits, producing a product that we don't make the stuff we use.
Right.
That's true of America in general, but African Americans specifically. We don't even sell, in many cases, the stuff we buy.
Right.
And until we start taking over our communities and understanding our marketplace and get our lion's share of the marketplace, we will never get up. And the other thing, we have to stop hating each other who does get up.
That's right. Yeah, that's true.
Because then you put people in jeopardy. You're oppressed when you're down, and then when you get up, you're hated.
Yeah.
So there's no place out, which leads to the depression.
Right.
There's no place out. We're trapped by our own understanding of ourselves.
African American people, it's time for us to wake up. The Democratic Party is nothing but modern day slavery. When you look at it, take it in perspective, they want to give us everything. They don't want us to have any freedom of ownership, making it better for our kids. That's why I became a Republican. If you look at it with bright eyes, you will see that everything that was said in the video is correct. We used to have ownership back in the day. Before segregation, black communities thrived. We had millionaires. We were millionaires. The system worked a lot better. Now, I'm not saying that we should have stayed segregated, but some of the values from segregation we should have continued on. Black pride, black ownership in businesses. Now, you think that the Democratic Party with the socialist values of give you is going to make you a millionaire? They want us to be dependent on them. And that's what Democratic versus Republican. Republicans believe in a smaller government, while Democrats believe in a bigger government system. Yeah, we don't learn anything new or try to get out there and get information, then we're going to be stuck in the cycle that the Democratic Party wants us in. That's why it's up to us and teach your kids ownership, how to be producers, not consumers. So many times, I hear people saying, I'm going to go buy some weave, or I'm going to go buy a new soundtrack, or we're just consuming at an all-time high. And there hasn't been any new black inventors, nobody where we can say that we produce something. You have to look in history books at our black inventors and producers. We need to have a new viewpoint and a new insight on going into the future on what we need to do as a people. And the Democratic Party is not wanting to get you there. We have to take it by the reins and go with it ourselves. Or we just going to be modern day slavery, getting a welfare check, getting help and assistance, and while we should be out there working. Now, again, I'm not talking about people who can't physically work. We're talking about people that I see every day that can work, that can provide for their family, but choose not to. There's no easy way out. Anything worth having is worth working for. And a lot of people don't see that. They rather get on, and now you got Instagram models trying to make a buck. And before 5 years, they're broke because first they didn't have any education on financing to save their money. And next they're going to get old and looks wilt away. But this is kind of society that we're living in. Big booties and smiles. And they think that's going to get them by. You know, as our men are getting into gangs, selling dope. Some of them are thinking they're rappers. But at the end, they all go broke. One of the best shows you can ever watch is 30 by 30. Black man turn athlete in high school, go to college, makes a lot of money in his 40s or 50s, sometimes even younger, broke. That's because you can't give anybody with money that don't understand money and the way that money works. So we have to help each other in trying to get the best out of each and every individual. No, I'm not against my own people. I just want us to see us do better. And it starts with one. So if I can reach one person that says, yeah, I understand what you're saying, I'm going to teach my kids in a way. And let's get them to prosperity where they can be, not living off and consuming everything that's on TV, everything. I have a friend, his son liked video games. So he sent him to coding camp. He said, if you like those video games so much, I want you to learn how to make those video games. And those are the people that we need more in America. African Americans who understand the hardship, understand the system, teaching their kids. But I understand a lot of people that are African Americans can't grasp that concept because they were never taught. But it's up to us as African Americans who have the concept to teach others on the concepts of financing, the economy as a system, and try to build one another up. But those were some very strong words I wanted to share them because, you know, we as a people, we should be producers. We have some of the best minds as African Americans in the world. So if you take a look at it, we are actually hindering America's growth, all the ideas, all the things that we could be sharing, because we're listening to the democratic system on, no, we'll take care of you. Just stay at home. Don't get married. Let us give you food. Let us give you this. Let us give you that. That's modern day slavery. For anybody who don't see it, that's what they want. They don't want us to get ahead. They want someone to outshine us. They don't teach your kids about not being prosperous and going out. You know, just look at all the college scandals you just seen. People, white Americans, they would getting their kids into Harvard and all these other great schools by cheating the system. But they tell us to stay at home and receive food stamps, receive WIC, receive a handout. That's not how it's supposed to be, and that's not how it should be, but it's up to us to change that. So let's come together as a people. Let's be what we can be and all that we should be. So let me know what you think in the comments. I think pretty much finished. I might cover this topic a little bit later, but like and subscribe, leave a comment, and I'm out.